Hi, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this series is called Spiritual Dilemmas. And the intention of this series of videos is to talk about every element of life, every element of our humanness that's always entangled and intertwined with who we are beyond our humanness, our spiritual self, our energetic self, our vibrational self. And there's always this conflict and dilemma happening because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are, my belief is that we came into these bodies, we are energetics, vibrational essences of the divine, and we decide to have a human experience. And so we're enter into this tiny little fetus being, and we become this body, and we become this being, and we have certain elements of being human that we need to take care of. And not only need to take care of, but sometimes we just believe we have to take care of them. And so there's this now, then this, what are the spiritual elements of life that I need to take care of? And what are the human elements that I need to take care of? And quite often, our human elements turn into egoic elements, like things that I want because I want something, I want to get something. This is really important because I would say 90% of what we're doing in these human bodies is we're trying to get something as an egoic being. We want to get something and we want to avoid something else. So here we are, a spiritual being, and for me, a spiritual being doesn't have a need to get anything other than it's come in, perhaps we've come in here to have a human experience, maybe like going to Disneyland. Like, let's have an experience. Let's see what shows up. Let's have an adventure and be in that. But quite often we become more controlling, and that ego part that says, no, I want it this way. No, I have to have it this way. And so now we have a dilemma between the part that goes, let's just have fun. Let's just see what happens and the part that says, no, I got to control this. So what I want to talk about today is self-empowerment and free will and how that's related to cultivating a spiritual practice. It's kind of interesting for me when I realize that self-empowerment, my ability to make choices for myself, is essential in how I create and cultivate my spiritual practice and my spirituality, how I cultivate this relationship with something that I think is beyond me, but is actually me. In the book and the movie Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth says, God dwells within me as me. I love that because we think God is outside of ourselves, but in essence, God is within us as well. And so how do I cultivate that relationship with that one that dwells within me if I don't empower myself to make the choices to make that happen? When we go to church or we develop cultural and religious beliefs, we sometimes give our power over to those beliefs or those priests or those ministers or nuns, those that were in authority over us. And quite often when we give our power over, we have disempowered ourselves to have our own beliefs, our own truths, our own practices. So in essence, we need to reclaim that power. We need to reclaim that ability to know our way, even though it's different from the people that we grew up around, the culture, the religions that we may have grown up in. Our way may be different. Your way may be different than even what I'm saying. And so I encourage you to empower yourself, self-empower yourself to question reality, question what's yours, what do you know to be true, as opposed to what you're supposed to think is true, what you were taught is true. What is it that you really do believe is true? And I'd love you to put it in the comments below, those things that you believe are true, so that I can acknowledge and witness, yes, that's what you believe. I'd be happy to do that. So empowering yourself and using free will, this is really important. Free will to choose what you choose because it's yours to choose. That's so important. We utilize quite often our free will to do what we're supposed to do what we think others want of us, do what we think will get us something that we want. And all of that is important to our egoic element. But then there's our human element, and then there's our spiritual element. And this is where all the dilemmas show up, and we'll talk more about that over the months and the perhaps years where we go from here. So just attend to those ideas of how am I empowering myself, and how do I empower myself to have my own truth and my own way of being in the world, and how do I do that in a way that supports and empowers me and supports free will for myself as well. All right, blessings to you. Bye for now.